some others checking in, I'm sure. This is the most I've ever had register for the weekday event like this. So we'll see how many actually show up. Um, just a real quick uh, survey, I guess, for lack of a better word. Marco, are you already using Realflow? Just thumbs up, yes, no? No? Okay. Have you ever seen it before? Okay. Tommy, are you using Realflow now?
No, I'm not. I've seen it though, and I've always been, curious about it. It seems like it's got a lot of great features. So when I saw this, I said, well, let me dive a little deeper because I was pretty impressed just when what I saw some time back.
Yep. Cool. Okay, I got a couple more folks checking in here. Give me just a second.
I'm gonna duck out. I'm eating some lunch. I don't want y'all to see me munching and crunching.
Okay, you're fine.
All right, I'll come back.
Okay, yeah, we got some more folks coming in here now. Welcome, Sonny. Appreciate you getting on the call. I know you're using Realflow. Derek, if you're there, are you currently using Realflow? I know Apple is on the call. She's my assistant, so she's using it, but she's new to it as well. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off. Some other
I
folks will be chiming in here, I'm sure, in the next few minutes, and we'll just deal with those when they get in. I am recording this call, so um, most of you, I think, know me. My name's Tim Cook. I've been a Realflow user and lover for 12 plus years now. I am actually one of the more senior users of Realflow in in this area. Actually, I think I'm one of the more senior Realflow users. Um Period. I know one other one that's up there with me. He's down in Florida. But we have been on it because we love it, because it's a powerful tool and it'll do a lot for you. But here's the key. Here's why we're here today. The key is you have to learn how to use it properly. It's a big database, it's a computer system, it's software. It is um, it is a piece of software that requires data input. And if you don't input that data correctly, then it's not going to work correctly as you would like it to. So, give me just a second here. I'm having trouble with checking somebody in. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so um, yeah, it's you've heard the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. Well, that's exactly a very true statement with this system. If you don't put the information in this tool correctly, you're not going to get out of it what you're after. Okay, darn computers are fussy with missing one letter or incorrectly spelled or wrong number or incorrect email or phone number. I mean, it just details matter, and you're going to hear me say that a lot. Details matter, and that's one of the things that I have learned over the years is those details matter in order to make this system work. Some things will still work, but not the way you want them to. Other things just plain won't work at all. if the data's wrong. So I'm gonna. It's kind of one of my missions is to teach people locally how to use this properly and the things that make the most difference. If you want to make money with Realflow, I want to teach you those details that can help you do that. So, is there anybody on the call that has done a deal with Realflow? Nobody? Okay. All right, well, sit back and relax and get your writing utensil out. I'm going to be throwing a lot of stuff at you. I want to start with a few admin notes before we get into the details here. Please, 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 please put any questions you have in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. But if you put them in the chat, I will, if I don't get to answer them on the call today, I will certainly reach out to you and follow up with you and answer it. So put your full name and your email address in with that question so that I can make sure that I have you in our system and I can respond to you. So before we get started, I see we have Ruth Ann on the call. She's one of our sponsors. Welcome, Ruth Ann. If you want to give us just a quick 30-second intro and then we can get on to the class, I'd appreciate it, please.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Ruth Ann Dunham with Service First Mortgage, and I've been doing this a very long time. I'm a traditional lender in most senses of the way people look at lending. Don't do any hard money, but I can get very creative with bank statement loans and asset income loans and down payment assistance for your buyers. They don't have to be impoverished to get the down payment assistance. So if it's anything unusual like raw land or commercial or what I've just mentioned, just give me a call. I'll put all the information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth Ann. So Ruth Ann's been with us a long time, and she's actually going through and doing a refinance on one of my rental properties I've had for years. So thank you for doing that, Ruth Ann.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and kick this off. Welcome, Michael. We're going to go ahead and jump into this and get moving here. Again, a couple admin notes. There's going to be, before I get started and before I forget about this, for those of you that are not already using Realflow, you have two options if you are interested. I can get you a much better deal because of my connections with Realflow. I can get you a 60-day free trial to start, but seriously, the best deal in the world. Nobody else in the country gets this offer that we have with Realflow because of my affiliation with them. But you can get a 1-year subscription for $900. That's $600 a year savings, and actually it's going to be going up here shortly. So it's a huge savings, plus you get a bunch of bonuses. I'll talk more about that later. If you're interested in either of those options and you have questions or you're not sure, drop your name in the chat and I'll reach out to you afterwards. The other thing I want to mention is I'm going to be doing an all-day workshop coming up. I don't have a date picked yet, but I suspect it's in the late March, April timeframe. That's an all-day workshop where we go through deals using Realflow and show you exactly firsthand how things work. If you do this, then this is what happens. If you do that, then that's what happens. So that's always been a very well attended and received event. So again, that's coming up sometime in April. So today, what we're going to really focus on is the things that you need to do initially to ensure your system is set up and function and be able to help make you money with Realflow. And there's some setup stuff that I want to go over. I know most of you are not on Realflow, so bear with me here. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to walk you through and show you how this works. So the first thing we're going to do is get my screen up there. Everybody see the screen okay? Thumbs up, anybody? Ruth Ann, can you see it okay? Realflow? You're muted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so here's the home page. Okay, if you're using it a while and you don't want this little intro video, you can go into the profile and you can uncheck that so it goes away. But this is just a quick orientation. This will always, clicking on Realflow up here will always take you back to this page. Here's the main menu right here, this three little lines, and this gives you all these different options here. Properties will take you straight into the properties listings page. Contacts, we're going to talk a lot about contacts here today. Lead flow. Within lead flow, this is where all your websites can be edited. You can do your direct mail from in here. They consider the personally penned letters is separate from direct mail. Direct mail is your postcards. Penned letters. Mobi Messaging, which is your text and voice messaging system. And then they give you the code to do to put on third-party sites like InvestorCarrot for opt-in. So you can have your opt-in form on another site, but yet it'll dump all the data into the contacts or the properties page. So that's quite helpful. And then there's a whole marketing library in here of letters and postcards and brochures that you can use to download, edit them, and print them. I'm not going to go into them today because that's really not why we're here today. And then you have lead pipes, which is the list piece of Realflow. And then they have lead pipes premium. Premium gets you a one-time upgrade for a fee. The service comes with lead pipes, but I can't remember, I think it's only like 5 or 6 type of leads, but you get 17 or 18 types of leads when you subscribe to Lead Pipes Premium. So it's a lot of data, it's nationwide, and you have a whole lot of lists that you can market to that way. One second. Okay, so then you come down here and you have, I'm sorry, I skipped. Commercial leads is a new lead list. I've not used them, and I don't personally recommend the probate leads because you're purchasing them there. We have 2 great sources here in DFW for probate leads, and you can get those through our link with Propelio and Real Estate IQ. I do not recommend buying these leads from Realflow. Coming down here, you've got your analyze tools. Now, this is the top level deal analyzer, repair estimator, and rehab planner. But when you're inside a property, you can go do these, and the deal analysis will be done specifically for that property. Repair estimator will be done specifically for that property, so forth, if you just do them from within the property itself. Down here under communicate, you have emails, autoresponders, and internal messaging. We're going to talk a lot about internal messaging today. I'm not sure if we'll get to these two, but I want to show you, this is one of the areas that you can make money, so we're going to talk about that. Then you come down here to manage, and you have your Scrum board. We're not going to get into that. It's an overall management tool. Documents, power linking, calendar, and task. Again, we're not going to spend an awful lot of time on that today. and then here's where you can see all the courses. By the way, you get 2 of these courses for free as a bonus when you subscribe to our group annual subscription that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so I want to jump in here and show you what the real focus of today is: internal messaging. So one of the most powerful reasons to use Realflow is the connection and the linking between Realflow users for your deals. And every one of you on Realflow, if you go to your Realflow account and you click on that menu and communicate in internal messaging, you should see some sort of list, whether it's one or hundreds, like this account. This is my training account, by the way, for my for doing this training classes like this. But you should see these in here, and what that's telling you is, for example, this is one that I did a while back from my own company. My company's TMC Property Solutions. I power matched a property out in Weatherford, which is where my office is at, and this is what I sent out. And if you have a buyer on your list for Weatherford, you should have had this power match, this internal message in your system indicating that you had a potential buyer on your list. The more of these types of listings you have in your account, the more opportunities you have to make money. And what I mean by that is, let me back up. So what I mean by that is that because these show up in your account, it means that you have a potential buyer, whether that's you or another buyer on your list that could be interested in buying this property. That's what this is telling you. So the more of these types of notices that you get, the internal messages, the more potential chance you could have of doing an option agreement with the seller, the Realflow user, TMC Property Solutions, HP Investments, Grace Home Developers, any of these Realflow users here. You could be reaching out to them and making money by come to an agreement to help them. The reason, or the way you know how many buyers you have, is you come in here and you click on this. You can come in here and look at what the property is. So you always want to do this. You go in here and you see, here's the address of the property, there's the price, which I gave that away, by the way. There's the seller's name, the Realflow user's name and contact info. There's the property details there. And here is the property description of that property. Okay, so this is how you know what the property is. If this is something you're interested in, then you can pursue it. The one thing I want to draw your attention to is, and I'm going to show you this as we move forward, notice that this is the property description paragraph, okay? In this paragraph, you do not want to put contact information. And notice I did. I put a phone number in there. The reason that I did it is because I knew when I sent this power match out to my list, I have a big list for Weatherford, so I knew this property was going to sell quick, and it did. If I was going to send this out to the community of users, and I'm going to show you what I mean, then I would have come back in here and taken this phone number out. The reason that is because when I send this out to the community of users, it's going to send this paragraph as it is And that means that it's going to go out to the other users who could then bypass you and go straight to the seller, which is right here. That's me. Okay. What's going to happen is when I power match this to the community, the system takes this contact information off it. It does not touch this paragraph. So this information is going to still go out, and it's going to replace this with I want more info, and that allows that other Realflow user to come directly back to you. And this, I'm going to show you this, but I just wanted to show you initially what I'm talking about here, because this is very important that you understand this. When you come back here, notice at the bottom, you're going to review this. You see the link. It's okay. You've gone and looked at it. You see the contact information. That's me. That's the seller. So you can always reach out to that seller right there and ask any questions about it and so forth. But watch what happens here. View my matching buyers. So what the system does is it goes in and it takes that property that I had for sale. This is just a demo account, by the way. So when I did this in my real account, I had hundreds of names for this property. But in this demo account, I just had these 3 addresses. So the system took that house in Weatherford, Texas. Notice I didn't say the street number. I said Weatherford, Texas. It matches the city and state of the property to the cities and state of the buyers on your list. In this particular demo account, I have 3 that say I want houses in Weatherford, Texas. And therefore, that's why they got identified when I clicked on matching buyers. So then what you do is you come over here, you hit send email. Oh, I didn't check any. So you have to check at least one address. Takes a second for them to process that for some reason. Okay. Then you hit send email. And the one thing I didn't do here is I didn't click on filters first. So filters allow you to pick the type of investor, the type of buyer that you want to send it to. In this case, I just want to send it to an investor. I won't waste time with all these right now. These are just the way I manage my account, but I'm going to say investor here. And what it does, it's going to refilter this list. So if I had all kinds of, if I had renters, owner finance buyers, all that, it takes all that out and only selects investor. So in this case, I only have 1. So I'm going to check that 1, and then I can go hit send email. Okay. So then you're going to come up here and you're going to put your name. You're going to put your email address, and then you're going to change up the subject line. One of the big mistakes that I see investors making is Realflow gives you this template. It is strictly a template. It is something to start from. The only thing that you don't want to change is this link. Leave the link alone, because that's what takes you to the property. Okay? But tweak up the subject line, tweak up the content of this to make it say what you want it to say. Tell people about the lead. Realflow doesn't know. Tell people about the lead so that they know, what the deal is and why they should go buy it. Now watch what happens here. I'm going to copy this link. Now remember, this is the one that we sent, that we're going to send to. So let me back up. Remember at the beginning, this deal came from TMC Property Solutions. This is my demo account, so I'm acting as another Realflow user. We looked at the link that was received in the internal messages, and it had contact information on it, okay? This is the link, though, that I'm sending to my buyers. watch what happens when I go and paste this link. And this is for your benefit. You want to review these links before you send it to your list. Okay, hold on. I didn't do something right there. Oh, you know what? So I pasted the link in there. Okay, I'm gonna have to back up, start over. Okay. All right. Yeah, I copied over that link. Sorry about that. So I'm going to copy this. I'm only copying it to go proofread what is being sent out to my buyers list. Okay? So you could say that you sent, in this example, you could say that you sent this lead out as a Realflow user. I received it as a Realflow user. Now I'm getting ready to send it to my list. I want to see what's being sent to my buyers. Okay? So notice I want more info. So my buyers can't go around me now. My buyers are going to get this and they're going to click on that. I want more info. And that is going to be an email that comes back to me and says, I'm interested in seeing this property. At that time, I can reach out to you as the seller and go set up an arrangement, sign an option agreement, and get the showing instructions to go show my buyer your house. Okay? Does this make sense? If you would, unmute yourself and tell me, because this is an important part to understand. You are proofreading what's being sent out. I see a lot of people making mistakes on this process. Does it make sense so far?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, remember what I told you about phone numbers and contact, emails, websites, all that. Notice that I'm getting ready to send this to my buyers, but they're still going to get a phone number. So I would not want to, if I was going to use the entire community of buyers out there, I would make sure that you don't put contact information in this paragraph. Okay? Very important part of what we're talking about here. Don't put contact information in there. Again, I'm experienced at using this. My list is big. I knew I was not going to send this to the community of users, so I wasn't worried about this. Okay? If that does not make sense, please let me know. But hopefully it's going to make sense here shortly when we continue. So that's what the email looks like, or the link looks like, that you're going to send out in this email from within Realflow. Okay? So right here, this is what you're going to change up the text here. That's the link that you just saw. And then you can put whatever signature you want to on here. And you can also attach a document if you'd like. It's a rare thing I do that for power matching, but I don't normally do that. But you can. So I'm not going to send this because it's just going to come to me. Okay? So that's what we're trying to get set up for you to work in your system to help you make money. Now, this applies to your houses and your contact list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through now, and I'm going to show you the things that you need to make sure are done in your system in order to make that power match function work. Remember, this is what we just saw was the receiving end, the internal messages. For example, if I sent a property today, would you receive it in your internal messages? Okay? Since several of you are not using Realflow, then it's hard to demonstrate that, but the workshop, we will go through that and demonstrate it. So we're going to go ahead and show you the setup for this to make sure that it all works correctly. So you're going to come up here to the top right corner. You're going to click on the drop down menu and go to the profile. Okay. So, and then we're going to make sure we go through every line item here to make sure everything's set up. So you're going to have your full name. Again, this is just my demo account. So this is what what I've got in here. You got an email address, a name, a login email, a phone number, and then the time zone that you're in. You can change your passwords here. And remember, I told you you could change the profile and uncheck the getting started section. Well, there's that checkbox. So you hit save when that's done. Come down to the next one on notifications. And notifications is where you can set up your account. And this is really important if you have a team. So if you're planning on expanding your team, you're going to want to have each person set up in here. You can have up to between 5 and 15 users, depending on which level your subscription is. But notice you can have email and you can have text. Okay, and then you can check the boxes here, and you can check the boxes and go through this list. New property. Well, yes, you want to be notified when you have a new property. Property documents. You know, there's a lot of these things that initially you may not want to have checked, but if you've got a big team and a lot going on, you're going to want to probably have all these items checked so you can be kept aware of what is happening in your business. Property activity, property status changes, contact notifications. When you get a new seller, okay, you can check an email or text box. You can do new buyers. Well, I always want to know when I have new buyers coming in. I get the emails for new sellers, and you can do text too. Other contacts, that's your contractors, you know, your title companies, your attorneys, your rehabbers. That's what all those are. So I don't check those boxes. Contact activity, you could if there was a lot of activity going on, but I don't do that. Again, these are all decisions that you need to make for your business. And then down here, system notifications. Again, if you had a team and you're assigning tasks to different people, and you know you're going to want either an email or a text of those tasks so they can jump right on them and get them knocked out. Internal messages. Do you want to receive a notice that you receive a new internal message that you can go look at, which is what we just looked at? So you might want that in an email, you might want a text or text only. That's strictly up to you. Email settings. So over here, I don't have a verified email in here, but you know this is just to get your account set up and it puts in the emails so you have default emails that you're going to use to send it out from. Okay. I just didn't complete that on this test account. Down here, you can actually create custom email signatures. You can just click add and put whatever kind of email signature in here you want. In my real account, I've got about 10 or 12 different email signatures because I do different things with that. But you can come in here and edit them. You can check the one that you want to be default. These are all things that will help you manage your business easier and smoother. So down here under settings, we're going to have users. So when you start growing your team, you're going to have possibly several users set up on your account. That's where you're going to put them. Your company info. This is very important. We're going to want to have the name of the company, the phone number, and the website in here. This information is used when you are power matching your properties out to your buyers list. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. So you're going to want to make sure this is filled out. I can't tell you how many power matches I've seen come out with no contact information. And that doesn't make it very easy to reach back out to people. I don't have social media set up for this test account, so I don't have it in here. Again, there's your name, phone number, emails, and so forth. Coming back over here, custom fields. You have 28 different custom fields that you can create for properties and contacts. I have used all my custom fields on the property side related to land trust. So you can use these custom fields to help autofill documents. That's a class for another day, but you can do that. You notice here I've got the subdivision as a custom field, the deed date. In my real account, I have back taxes and trustees name, beneficial interest names, things like that. That's all what I've created in here. Backup data. You can actually request a backup of all the properties, the contacts, and the task. You hit submit, it goes off and backs up. Notice this little red button on the bell. That's notifications, and it'll tell you all kinds of different notifications going on in your account. You can also set up a smooth fax account. I have one in my real account, not this test account, but you can get a number from Realflow so that fax can go directly into the property or the contact that you're working on. Helps keep things organized. Artificial intelligence zip codes. In my real account, I have 5 or 6 zip codes, but you can get LeadPipe's premium AI leads, artificial intelligence leads, and you can pick them by zip codes, and you'll see that information in here once you've selected them. And then integrations. This is one that I don't use and I need to, but you have all these different integration tools that you can connect with Realflow to do different things with. And it's just something I haven't implemented. But you've got Trello, Google Sheets, you got spreadsheets and Trello card. I don't know what that is. Contacts to Podio. A lot of people use Podio for different things. I don't, but there's a way you can connect there with all that stuff. This is one that I need to figure out because everybody's doing text messages now. So those are 2 that I'll be looking into. So you see that there's quite a few different things you can connect with, and Realflow is continuously expanding and doing more and more with it. So that, and then you have your billing tab. So that concludes the profile setup. Any questions on the profile? Anything at all? Very important that you go in and get it all set up properly. Okay, the next part is contacts, the buyer's list, buyer's management. So you can come into Realflow and you can create all kinds of lists. You can manage it in all kinds of different ways: active, inactive, deleted, types, sellers, buyers, landlord, investors, rehabbers. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here, right? The source of those leads, okay, you can create those, or the system will track them from a website that you have. You can assign managers. There's all kinds of different things that you can do here. But here's the thing that I want to make sure everybody understands about Realflow and the power match function. Let me explain the definition of power match. Power match is the automated process of matching your property's city and state. Notice again, I didn't say address. I said the property's city and state to your buyer's city and state. Notice I didn't say anything about price. I didn't say anything about bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, anything at all like that. I said city and state. So what I'm referring to is when you put a buyer in your system, you're looking for these preferences, okay? And this is a poor example, I guess, because I did this in the last class, I guess. But you're going to want to have, let me go back and look at an older one. Okay, so I'll talk about all this in a second, but when I talk about cities and state, I'm talking about specifically under the Preferences tab and down here under Target Areas and Cities, okay, and State. If you don't have this state selected and these cities, at least one city in here, this person, well, and an email address, of course, this person is not going to receive a property listing from you. I don't care how much money he's got, how many you send them, they're not going to receive anything from you unless the cities that that are in his profile match the property that you're trying to sell. I also recommend that you not let any of these cities be blank. So, for example, so I always try and fill this in my real account. Again, this is a demo account, but the more cities you have filled in here, the more likely this particular buyer is going to have a match with your properties, okay? If he only had Fort Worth and you had one in Westover Hills or White Settlement or Benbrook, he would not get those, okay? So you might be asking, well, most investors are going to want to buy in more than just these 10 cities. Well, this is where one of the workarounds that I've learned that you got to do until they get it fixed, and they're working on this, is you have to make multiple profiles for people. And that, if you made 10 profiles of a person, for example, yourself, and I do recommend you do this, by the way, is go create a buyer's profile for you and make 10 of them, make 15 of them. 10 of them would be 100 cities, right? So you're going to have more of a chance of matching up to a power match that I do or anybody else using Realflow. The more city names you have identified in your buyer's list, the more chances are there's going to be a match in your system. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that part right now? Any questions? Is that clear? I can't stress it enough. The more cities you have in your account from all the buyers, not just you, but from all your buyers, the more chances you're going to have of doing more deals in your account.
Hey, Tim, it's Steve. If I could, a quick question. I saw that there was a counties option on the left column there where you're typing in the cities. Can a buyer put in just a county and then it would do all cities in that county?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
They are Realflow, even though I've got a good connection and we're tight, they are very close hold on what they're doing, and they are in the process now of rewriting the database to address this issue and try and come up with a solution. I don't know what they're going to do, honestly, but they know that we need more than just 10 cities. And in the meantime, I've got a workaround. You notice all these different numbers here. These are my different ways of identifying different profiles. But really what I've done now is I've eliminated that step altogether. As far as the numbering goes, I just put a 1 on the very first profile. And again, this I should have done this in my primary account, but you'll see I have a bunch of custom tags created in my real account. And I thought I had done that here. Let me go back here. Yeah, notice that I have some tags in here, and we'll get into the tags here in a minute, but I wanted to just make sure that we're clear on this city and state issue. Is there any questions regarding that from anyone?
Tim, just one last question on that. As long as the buyers have a city and state that match the property you're selling in, are they automatically going to be a power match to you, or do you have to kind of build your buyers list by reaching out to potential buyers and having them, kind of opt in to your buyers list?
So we have to, first off, we haven't gotten through all of this yet, Steve, but let me just go to a property side for a second. So here's a wholesale deal I did a couple years ago. And so we just briefly addressed contacts. I'll go back to contacts in a minute. But there's a couple different parts to this. You have the contact side, right? You got to have the more buyers on your list with the more cities and states in their profiles, the more chances of you being able to sell your deals quickly. Okay? And the more internal messages you're going to receive from other users. So there's really a couple different parts to this, so bear with me here. So here's the property that I did. And when you go through the property, in order to power match it, you're going to go to the properties tab. And you're going to make sure, of course, the address and city and state and all that stuff is in there, which the system fills for you if you're putting it in there correctly. And then coming down here under property information, public records doesn't have all of the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage on a lot of older homes, right? So you're going to fill in as much information as you can about this property that you want to be able to, relay to a buyer, right? So fill out as much of this information as you can, and then come down here and, this is you're going to put in the repairs needed and what kind of details are needed for the rehab. And you're going to keep coming down here, and you're going to get down here to the property description paragraph right here. Notice I have in here, this is your marketing paragraph. Remember the property description back in the power match I showed you where all the details were? Well, that's where this is at. Property description and details. So you can, why is this the best thing since sliced bread and why somebody should buy this? That's what you're going to put here. This is the paragraph I was saying, do not put your contact information in. Just put all of your marketing stuff that you want to say about this property and put it right there, okay? Then you're going to come back up. You're going to always hit save. Even though a lot of this stuff is auto-save, it's best to hit the Save All button. You're going to come back over here to the listing, and you have two sections here on listing. Listing on acquisitions and listing on sale. Well, if you're trying to sell it, this is where you're going to go, right? So you're going to put it in here. No, it's not listed. You're going to put your asking price. If it was listed, MLS numbers and all that stuff. But if you're selling this yourself, all you really need is your asking price right here. Do you remember in the top right corner on that property I showed you in Weatherford how it had $15,000 in the top right corner? Well, that's where it's coming from right there. Okay? And then you're going to hit save again. Now, if you're not going to have any custom info you use. You don't have to worry about link contacts for marketing the house. Public info isn't going to help you do anything for you for the marketing to sell it. Negotiations none of that gets published. It's just this property info right here and this listing price. Okay. So once you've got that saved, then you're going to come down here. Notice where it says publish to website. And this is kind of another pet peeve of mine. I've been trying to get Realeflow to fix. And that is, in my mind, you want to do things in sequence that you're trying to go work the property, right? So in my mind, this ought to be before power matching. Power matching should be the last thing that you want to go do. And the reason I say that is when you click on this publish to website button, notice up here, well, again, I already filled this in, but in this demo, when you go here for the first time, this is going to be blank. The system leaves this blank because you could have other people in your team that's marketing to sell this house. Okay? So you have to make sure this marketing contact information here is filled in before you post it. Then you can come over here and proofread all your work. So now you've put the listing price in, you've put the property description in, you put all the property details in. You can come up here and click on publish to website, and it's going to give you this link. So you can click on this link and go proofread all the work you did. So you see that you got your price there. You see the addresses there. You see your company name is there. This is coming from the profile section. You see that all that marketing contact information I just told you to fill in, that's all there. I only put one picture in here, but if you had a bunch of pictures, then that'll show up there. And then you can, your property description. Remember in mine, I just had, this is your marketing paragraph. Well, that's that right there. So that gives you the ability to go proofread that before you go posting it. Okay? So I'm going to uncheck that. And if you've put your information in here for the first time, you're going to want to hit save. Okay? Now, the step I skipped was right here. Remember I told you I think Realflow ought to make this in a sequence that you're going to go do these steps. And I skipped one, and that was photos. So when you click on photos, you can come in here and add a photo or add a video, either one. Okay? Photo or video. And it will resize the photos. You can name the photos, so on and so forth. And then once you're all done with adding those, you do want to select this primary button as to which picture is going to be your first picture. And then if I had a bunch of pictures in here, you could see that you can drag and drop them any way you want them to be seen by the buyers. Okay, then I come back up here, and then now it's time to go power match this house. Okay, again, power match is what? Anybody?
If you're gonna, in whatever city you've listed this property in, any buyers that have that city in one or more, or in one of their maybe multiple buyer profiles, they will show up in your power match and potentially get a buyer for your property.
Yeah, it's the automated process of matching the buyers to the sellers is what it really is. And the system's doing that for you. Okay? The system's doing it for you by taking and matching that city and state of the property, which is Fort Worth, Texas. Here's the property address we're working on right here. And these, notice that under the power matching area, we say my buyers and community buyers. So you're always going to make the most money with my buyers because these are people that I've put in my system, whether they joined through my website, my buyer's squeeze page, which as an example, this is the test website, but this is a buyer squeeze page. So DFW Rehab Properties, anybody that comes into this site and signs up, they get added to the list. And you see here, these are all new websites. I haven't optimized them or anything with Realeflow, but they give you a little buyers list video. You can change the video if you want to. And notice that right here, it's kind of hard to see. I'm still playing with the text colors, but notice that I have that statement in there: to receive text or voice notification of our hot deals, text the word DFW Rehab to 817-993-9930. When you do that, and you're welcome to do it, when you do that, it adds you to our Mobi Messaging and text messaging and voice messaging service. And that is something that is unique to Realflow. And the other way they can get in here is come right here and put their name and text. And I got to add, this is a new website, I got to add the SMS option in here. But when they do that, they get added to the buyers list, and they opt in for text and voice messaging. If you do not opt in, they do not receive text messaging because there's some steady or heavy fines you can receive if you start texting people that aren't opted in. So Realflow tries to control it that way. But people can do it here. They can opt in. I just don't have it on this new opt-in page. Or they can do it here. I've added this as an additional attempt to get them to opt into the text messaging. When they, I'll show you that in the contacts in just a minute. I want to go back to the power match of this property. If I can find it here. Got too many screens open. Okay, so we have this property. We're going to power match it. We've already done photos. We've reviewed all the information, put the price on it. We're ready to send it to my list, okay? So this is my list. This is where I'm going to make the most money. Now, here's the filters button. Again, the nice thing, one of the many things that I like about Realflow is you can build your buyers list by landlords, investors, commercial, turnkey landlords, renters, owner finance. You can break it all down that way, and that's what these filters are going to give you the ability to do, is pick the type of buyer or renter, or retail buyers, so on and so forth. You can pick the kind of person that you want this to go to, instead of sending your deal out to everybody. And if they're a commercial investor, they may not be interested in this property. If they're a lease option buyer, they may not be interested in your full rehab property, things like that. So I like the fact that I can specify the type of investor, and Realflow automatically sifts and sorts everybody that is categorized by that type of investor. Okay, so now I've done that. Notice we still have other filters: bedrooms, bathrooms, and price match. I never use those, and I recommend that you don't use them unless it's for a specific reason. But think about it like this: if you put 110,000, or if the buyer put 110,000 on something, and as a price point, and you had something that was 115, they'd never see that property. So I just skip it. Many buyers don't have a clue how many bedrooms and bathrooms that they'll live with, or a price, so we just choose to give them everything, and they can pick if it matches their needs or not, if that makes sense. So if they're an investor, they're going to get every deal that we have as an investor. Again, many people don't care about this stuff. Same with owner finance buyers. It's good that they'll give you the information. I just never power match it, which also means that they're going to be getting more of your deals if you aren't filtering them out with these filters here. I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know.
Yeah,
so now we're going to...
Oh, sorry, just one last quick question. I see what you're saying, Tim, about the opting in, right, for the My Buyers. Like when you're just getting started, though, can you reach out to the community buyers section, and that'll send it out to every single Realflow buyer that matches your city or your property you're selling, or no?
We're coming back to that, Steve.
Okay, got it.
You're getting that cart before the horse. Okay, so again, doing power matching to your list is going to get you the most money because there's nobody else involved but you and your buyer. Okay, no splitting fees, no joint ventures, no option agreements. This buyer's list is your list. So if they buy, then you get paid, right? You're not splitting with anybody else. That's why I was trying to walk you through this part of it first. So now that we've got these dozen or so names identified, then you come up here and hit send mail. So again, keep the link, don't touch the link, but you can change this content to anything you want. Put your name in there, the email you're sending from. Remember, I didn't have a verified email address in the setup, so it's not there. Change that to make that an attention-getting subject line. This is probably the biggest thing that I can say to you is that you work on that subject line. Make it attention-getting. Make it something that's going to cause them to insist on opening the email up. Subject lines are very, very important. So this is an autofill, so just leave that part alone. That's going to autofill their name in the system, but the rest of this you can go change, okay? Remember I told you could make multiple signatures? Well, you can come down here. This is where they're going to show up when it's time to power match your property, is down here in that bottom left corner. So once you've changed this, again, remember now, this is your property, right? This is not from an internal message, and this is very important you understand that. This is your deal. So I'm going to copy that link. I'm going to show you. We're going to paste that. This is what your buyers are going to get. Again, your property, your buyer's list. You want all this detail, the contact information, all that stuff in here. If, like I did with my Weatherford house, I could put contact info in here because I knew I was sending it to my buyers, not the community of buyers. That it's an important piece of this that you need to understand. Okay? So then I can come back here and I can hit send. Once I know that I've got this all done the way I want, again, you can tweak it up. You can add a logo. You can put images in it. You don't want to use links in this as far as any kind of contact information. Well, I take that back. This you can, because this is just the email. Okay? This is only going to your buyers list. This is not the part that goes out to the, so if I was sending this to you, you would see this part of this email right here, okay? But when you power match my property to your list, they're not going to see any of this stuff, okay? This is just the email that I'm sending to you as a Realflow user. Everybody understand that? So for the workshop purposes, I'm gonna get everybody's name and I'm gonna put it into the accounts. I'm gonna have you join my buyers list for demo purposes. Most of you are probably already on my list, but we're gonna do some real demonstrations, real time in that workshop, so you see exactly what I'm talking about with this. Is there any questions about this part? Okay, I'm not gonna send this because this property isn't available anymore. Now I want to go back though, since we have, well, all of you are new, could be considered new on Realflow. So I'm just gonna make a statement that if you're all new and on day one of joining Realflow, you've got your profile set up. We already went through that. If you did all these things up here and you had a property, you put your first property in Realflow, you have it under contract, you want to go sell it. You come into your Power Match over here and you open up this page and your My Buyers is blank. So you're brand new, not one buyer in your system. You could literally sell your deal anyhow through Realflow, possibly by the community buyers. What does community buyers mean? I want somebody that's been listening, somebody unmute yourself and tell me what they think community buyers is.
Everybody that has their cities located in that area. So like specifically Weatherford or Fort Worth, everybody that's in there is going to pop up.
Okay, so community buyers, remember this, my buyers are your buyers you've put in your system. Community means Realflow users. So when you see these company names, these are all Realflow users, okay? Over here shows you the number of buyers that, so in this case, 34, Alpha Family Group. Alpha Family Group is a Realflow user. They have 34 buyers on their list for a Fort Worth, Texas house. Does that help? Does that help?
So these would, you would have to maybe JV with these people to get to the buyers?
That's correct. And I've said that a couple times earlier, that you're going to have to joint venture, sign an option agreement to do it legally in order to go market their houses, right? Because you can't just go shake hands and or verbally agree to it. You have to get a signed agreement in order to technically go. If in my case, if you were receiving this power match for this house from me, we don't want to just get on the phone and say, yeah, we're going to go do this and not have a signed option, right? That's illegal. So yes, you have to get, in order to use this community buyers list, you want to have some agreement with these people to go show their houses. Okay? But the point I'm trying to make here with this is that you had 0 buyers on your buyers list, but when you come to the community, these are all Realflow users. Now, this company is out of Alabama. Okay, this is Fort Worth. This is Fort Worth. This is Fort Worth. By the way, I taught him how to do this. This is Fort Worth. But some of these people are using the system the way they're supposed to, and some are not. This is Texas. Geez, does that name look familiar?
So do these people have like a set price list, or can you negotiate with them?
You're going to negotiate. Every deal is unique in itself. Every deal is unique in itself. That's going to be, whether you're using Realflow or not using Realflow, you're just going to have to decide what you'll do. What's the minimums, and sometimes the seller, the Realflow user, they may have a lot of leeway in the deal. Sometimes they don't. So it just depends on what they can do. So this really boils down to is building relationships. And quite honestly, this is one of the reasons why I do this class in the workshop, because the more of us that know how to use this property, you see all these ones, that means that these companies, these Realflow users they're not adding buyers list properly, building their buyers list properly. Okay? The ones that I've taught how to do it, look at them. Of course, that's me. Okay? So there's a lot of this. If we get a group of us doing this in this area, we can help each other move our deals a lot faster. You're all new. I've been on here 12 years. If you sent me a Fort Worth house, I'd have a good chance of selling it pretty fast, wouldn't I? Does that make sense? Does everybody understand the power of this list?
Well, yeah, I mean, this would work great for like somebody like me that's just barely getting started.
Yep.
And I can partner up with or JV with some of these people and then create my own buyers list eventually.
That's right. So that's the side effect of this, right? Is building the buyers list. And there's ways you can kind of you can go out and actually do this in reverse. You can go out here. We're looking for a buyer, but you can power match on your buyers looking for houses. So you can do it the other way around. So if you've got somebody, let's say you have an owner finance buyer that says, man, I got $50,000. I need a house bad. Well, you can go power match on the buyers, do the same thing, only the power match that you see, the message that you're going to see is going to, when you hit this send message, this is going to be worded different because now you're looking for a house instead of looking for the buyer. Pretty powerful, huh? So the problem is many people don't understand what I just showed you. Otherwise, they'd all have higher numbers like this and like this. They'd be filling in, they'd have a lot more buyers showing up here. Notice how very few people are using the bedrooms and bathrooms stuff because most buyers don't fill that out. So, questions on this part?
Tim, is there any way that you can connect or send your information to areas that you know people or companies are at directly so that you can be put on their buyers list, or do you have to email them?
Realflow is very, 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 very protective of contact information. So really the only thing you could do is, there's ways to manipulate that. You could go out and create something where you're saying, I've got this property that I'm working on getting under contract, and send it out to people and say, if anybody's interested in this and joining my buyers list, please reach out to me at this contact information. That's honestly, that's how I build a huge list of my own of contacts, and that's really coming in from the internal messages, because all these people, when they send out these messages, not all of them. So I'll just take this one for example. A lot of people put contact information right here, and you could reach out to them at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can come up here and click on the link, and if they've filled out their contact information correctly, there's a way for you to reach out to them there. So there's ways to do it. There's not a way to do it in any kind of bulk, other than, you could do that power match message, and instead of when this, you could take this and make this all your promo email that goes out to everybody with your contact information, and ask them to reach out to you, add you to their list, and email you with their buying criteria. Anything else on that? Did that answer it?
Yeah, no, that absolutely answered it. I'm just trying to figure a way that I could be reached on several companies throughout the Realflow so that I could be on their buyers list, so that they're sending me properties as well.
So that's really where I'm going with all this. This was Sunny, right?
Yes, sir.
So the internal messages are other users' properties that they have available, and you're receiving them because you have someone, whether it's you or someone else, on your list with the same city and state. Okay? So the more cities and states, Sonny, that you have in your buying criteria, in your buyers list, the more of these type of messages you're going to get. So I'm just going to take this one for example. This don't tell us where this property is at. So you click on this view matching buyer, and it's going to pull up all these buyers that I have. In this case, this looks like it's probably a local, because you can see here, when you click on the buyer's name, it's going to show you, you can come over to preferences and see the cities that they're in, or that they
Right. No, I understand that. And I understand everything that you went through. And I made sure that I've got 5 accounts set up for different cities or groups of cities within those zip codes.
Yep.
But I've had it set up now for about 4 weeks, or since we talked when I was in San Diego. But I haven't had anything coming in. So I didn't know if didn't have it set up correctly, or I didn't have it submitted to where they could see me. Because I'm sure there's properties being done in Fort Worth area, and I'm not receiving anything.
Yeah, well, I haven't had anything recent, so I haven't had anything to power match myself. Um, but let's see here. Let's,
Oh, okay. So it's not on a regular basis. It's just whenever something's available. It's
yeah,
not pretty
that's
regularly.
right. It's whenever somebody has something available. Okay, so just for giggles, Sonny, let me see. Oh, I don't have you in this account. Um, I can do something with you offline, Sonny, and show you that your system's working.
Okay. Thank you.
But the key to this, the key to making this the most powerful as possible, is you coming in, and this is for everybody. When you're brand new, get as many buyers in your system with city and state as possible, um, and and that means. And by the way, when you set up a profile, you have to have it's you can't mix up cities in different states. You do have to have the so I got so many tests in here that I don't have them all filled out. So let me just do something real quick. So when you come in here, I didn't show you this earlier. Search city by zip code and postal code. So you can come in here and put 76107. And when you hit enter or tab, and it brings up all the cities associated with that zip code. So if you check the box, it auto fills these. Okay? Um, that's the easiest way to do it. And you're going to see some stuff abbreviated, like, there is no such thing as a housing area as NASJRB. And to my knowledge, there's nothing called Oaks, but there is River Oaks. And I don't recommend you letting any kind of duplication or anything in there. To maximize your list, do it like that. Okay? But if you go in there and you started doing those for all the major metroplexes in DFW, then that's going to help you. If you had one, there's just so you know, there is 183, I think, suburb city names in DFW. So you could do a lot of profiles to cover that area. But where you might also do is the outlying areas. So I'm out here in Weatherford. There's a lot of activity in Dallas Fort Worth, but I can go out to Palo Pinto or Grayson County or Wise County, Denton County, and start using those city zip codes and stuff in there and building my list and my area of coverage even more. So again, the more cities you have in the system, the better off you're going to be. Okay? By the way, for everybody's knowledge right now, the city and state piece of this is not automatically functioning when somebody joins your buyers list. And this is something that you need to go manually do for the time being. This is supposed to be a part of this database rewrite. If somebody comes in and puts Fort Worth, Texas 76107, and they actually put it in the system that way, if you sign up with one of the squeeze pages like this, then buyer's squeeze page, then that information is not automatically going into here. So you have to fix this. And this is why I was showing you in the community buyers list why so many people do shows ones in there, because they're not going in and fixing the cities and state. So this does take a manual effort. This is a good job for a VA if you have one. But it's pretty quick and simple. You come in and put state in, put the zip code in there, and do the same thing for yourself. I have like 13 or 14 profiles for myself, but I've started going outside, Granbury, Hood County, Johnson County, going out in all those little cities out there too. So if a Realflow user has a property there, I'm going to be notified as well. And again, that's why I see so many internal messages right here, because I have so many different cities and state. You can build your list nationwide, and the more states and the more cities from other states you have in here, the more power matches you're going to receive too. But let me see if I can just pick one here and see. I'm trying to find one that shows another state. Okay, well, that's another Texas one. I was trying to find one from another state to. But you can come in here and see what, by clicking on that power match, see where the property is located. Notice how this one's a lot longer. Somebody put the contact information in there, so you could reach out to this person here. Okay, there's another one that says Texas, but I thought I was. Hoping to pick one from another.
Tim, whenever you select your contact type, should you put buyer and seller, or just stick with one and create a whole new contact for selling?
There's a lot of things in Realflow that you have to make as decide on as business decisions on how you want to manage the data. You could do both if you really wanted to do that. I choose to make them separate entries. Yeah, so this particular property was in Florida. So when I come down here to say view matching buyers, you can go in here and see all the cities. So in this particular case, that one property, I only have one buyer in that area, and you can go in and see all the different cities that person has in my system. So if somebody power matched something from Fort Myers, I'd get it. Naples, I'd get it. Melbourne, I'd get it. Orlando, I would get it. So on and so forth. Does that make sense? So the more cities in your system, again, you're brand new, start building that buyers list as quick as you can. Oh, by the way, you can import your Excel CSV file, but you still need the city names and state in here in order to make them work. In
5 minutes.
What's that?
Sorry.
Okay. Any other questions on this?
Tim, just one quick question. The reason you have so many buyers is because you have buyer squeeze pages, correct?
Well, that's one of the reasons. I use Trade Cash for Houses is my buyer squeeze page for my business, and this demo page here was specifically for this demo training account, but I'm just now changing all the pages over to this format. But yes, you want to have this. I also capture a lot of buyers from my allwholesaleproperties.com wholesale site, which if anybody's interested is for sale. I'm gonna go ahead and sell that piece of my business. But I get a lot of buyers from that site that go into Realflow. I get, every time I go to an investor meeting and I meet new investors, then we capture all those buyers. You know, the buyers in our REI group, they're all in my buyers list as well. So you want to be, and you got to remember, I've been at this 12 years too. So, you know, you want to be building that list 24/7. You can run classified ads to drive traffic to your buyer squeeze page. And, you know, that's my recommendation. Is you want that buyers list growing 24 hours a day. Okay? You want it growing 24/7. So if you have that squeeze page, that website out there, Trade Cash for Houses, DFW Rehab Properties, things like that, those are all over the web 24/7. They're working all day long, all night long. And, you know, the more people that sign up by themselves, the less work on you to do. Okay? Now, again, just a reminder, there is still a manual effort at this point until they fix this issue of the city and state not being auto-filled in the profile. It causes you or your assistant, your partner, your VA, whatever, to go look at the city and state and get that information. And if you have to pick up the phone and call them or email them and ask them for cities and state, then that's what you got to do until they get this fixed. I'm hoping it's soon, but they won't tell me when the database rewrite is done. This is a powerful system. That doesn't mean it's 100% bug proof. Doesn't mean that it has all the abilities that we all wish it would. There's no such system out there that exists to my knowledge. And we're only covering, you know, we've only covered a little teeny bit of Realflow. There's a lot of stuff that we go through in the workshop, step by step. We do live demonstrations of Mobi Messaging so you can see how the Mobi message works. And that's another piece of the system. It's powerful, but it's kind of cumbersome. And they're at some point going to revamp that to be more current technology. But it's a powerful system when you can start sending text messages or voice messages out to your membership or your buyers regarding properties that you have. Or you could use a voicemail for marketing, for looking for buyers, looking for deals. You know, if you're looking for a deal, you could create a voicemail for it. I want to show you one thing more about the Mobi messaging, since I've mentioned it a couple of times. Back here, if you go back into your contacts list, remember I was telling you people have to opt in. Well, that little message bubble right there tells you that that person opted in to text and or voice messaging. Okay? If you wanted to send a Mobi message, so right there you can do a voice message and a text message. Notice this one doesn't say Mobi, so I can't send a text. You must select one or more contacts that have opted in to receive Mobi. So I can't do that unless they have that, and now I can go send that text message. So that's one reason why I have put the that little statement on the squeeze page. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, down here. It, you know, even though it's in the opt-in sign up right here, it will be when I finish this page, but I put this statement in here. They don't have to go through the web page. They can just go text that info. As a matter of fact, if you want text messages of my deals, go ahead and do that. Text the word hot deals, or I'm sorry, text the word DFW Rehab, no space, to that number right there, 817-993-9930. By the way, when you get your Realflow account, when you want to start, when you create the Mobi side of it, they give you that phone number for free. It's no extra cost. So if you want voice or text message of our deals, just do that. Text DFW Rehab 817-993-9930. All right, what else do we want to cover? That was pretty much what I was after today, as far as power matching, trying to show you how powerful that power match function is and internal messages. So you want to make sure that your contacts are complete. You know, you're again have to have an email, right? A name, an email, and then that city and state with at least one city name. And you know, if they buy in multiple states, then you got to have separate profiles for each of those states and cities that they're trying to buy in. You want to make sure that the property details are completed. You know, the more detail you put in the property information paragraph, the more you can market that property, and then write that property description paragraph to the best you can about why somebody should be interested in buying that house, the deal on it. You know, it's a great deal, it's deeply discounted, whatever you want to say. Just don't put any websites or phone numbers in that paragraph. Then make sure your listing tab is updated with the asking price. And then you got to make sure that your website information down in the bottom left corner is filled out with your contact information, name, phone number, email, so that when it posts that flyer, that it has contact info on it. I see so many that don't do that, and there's no way to reach them. Now you can reply in the internal message, but again, it's not real user friendly. It's kind of hard to read. Matter of fact, Sonny, that's how I responded to you the first time. I don't know if you did see that, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's just not formatted very well to really like an email or anything. So, and
Yeah, I
then,
actually had to go through and look for your message to find it.
yeah, it's it's a powerful tool. I mean, think about it. There's around 185,000 people using Realflow across the U.S. and Canada. 185,000, and you can leverage those people. But remember this. This is why I do these calls like this. It only works that piece of it. You know, the power matching and the selling houses quickly only works if you have worked the system and put the details in. It doesn't work through osmosis. It doesn't happen automatically. Your list is the most important list, but the better you make your list, other Realflow users are going to be able to send you deals. You saw the users on there. For example, Homewood Properties had 1,071 names on there, and he's going to have a chance of receiving a whole lot more properties in his internal messages, and a chance to help his buyers and work with other investors to get them sold quick. But those people that have one name on the list, I bet you anything it's not because they only really have one. It's because they have one that's with the completed cities and state, but they have a lot of buyers. They just don't have them filled out properly. And this is why I've been on Realflow, to get this city and state issue fixed, so that people can start making more money with it. Okay. I think I'm out of Schlitz. Any last minute questions, comments?
Tim, do you know if power matching is good to find end buyers for land, or is it really more for houses?
It would work for land, Steve. Again, it's based on city and state.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then,
When you're matching buyers to property, It's only matching on the city and state, so it's going to boil down to your description that you write for that.
Okay, and very last question. I noticed one of the buyer types where you're showing you can narrow it down. We included owner finance. So for owner finance, is there a place where you can type in, my terms are, such and such down payment, such and such monthly payment, or is there only a spot where you can type in, like, whether, for example, 15,000 for price?
So when you're marketing, you're going to put that in that property description paragraph.
Okay, got it.
So if you're looking for 10,000 down, 30 years with 8% interest, then you're going to put that in that property description.
Got it. This class was great. Thank you so much.
Okay. Again, just for those that are not using Realflow, as a reminder, I can get you a 60-day free trial link. If you really like what you see, though, you can jump in with an annual subscription. I have a deal on our group website. I can send you a link for that too. If you want, if any of you want those links, just put it in the chat and I'll get it to you. The bonuses you get as the subscription service, it is an annual subscription. It's not monthly. You can't do it monthly in order to get this deal. But if you do that, then you get my training video that helps you get started. This is, you get a lot of good stuff from Realflow for training to get you started, but mine is my how-to and my little tips of things that I've learned over the years on getting it set up. And then you also get 2 bonus courses that come with Realflow. They have 6 courses. You have to buy them, but you get private money lending course and Facebook marketing course, which is the one everybody wants nowadays. That I struck that deal to give those to you free as well as part of that bonus. If you are interested in upgrading to the Lead Pipes Premium with artificial intelligence on them, AI, I can get you a deal on that, but it's going to be on a one-on-one basis at the time you ask for it. But I can get you a better deal than what you'll get with anybody else. So again, that's only because I've worked with them for 12 plus years and I do a lot of troubleshooting with them. And I sat on a pro users council with them for quite a while, them and Fortune Builders. So I've done a lot with them over the last years, so they're taking good care of members of the group. So if anybody wants that information, let me know. Keep your eyes on your email for the workshop. I have not announced it yet. I don't have a date picked, but I'm working on it. So, alrighty. Any questions, comments? Was it good? Did it help, or did I confuse you?
I thought it was great stuff, and I've got tons of questions, but I don't want to tie everybody's time up.
Okay. So we went through probably 3 hours of stuff in a little over an hour and a half. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to cover, and that's why I started doing the workshop a couple years ago, because it takes time to go through and do the practical application, do the live examples, so you can see how a power match works. We'll actually do a power match. We'll power match a buyer. We'll power match a property. We'll go through and do a Mobi Messaging, opt in and then send a message and show you how the property listings work. You can do Mobi property listings messages too. You set up a voice recording on Mobi. It gives you a PIN number. That PIN number goes on all your marketing. You just give them that number, 817-993-9930. PIN number, frats, and it takes them to a recording. It automatically sends them a map with directions to get to the house and a link to pictures. So it's a pretty cool system. You just have to learn how to set it up and use it. And that doesn't cost you anything extra. Pretty hard to find free tools out there nowadays. You go to sign up for a text messaging program, it costs a lot of money. The other thing that costs a lot of money is email marketing tools, autoresponders. All of your websites that Realflow provides you don't cost you anything extra other than buying your domain name. And they all come with, they're now all WordPress sites, and they all come with autoresponders. and you can customize all those autoresponders, put images in them, video in them, anything you want. Doesn't cost you a penny. So, alrighty. Is that it? No parting questions, Sonny?
I'm gonna shoot you an email, but I'll do it offline.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you. I think this is great stuff, and I can contest. You're offering so much more than a lot of others out there, and I have spent the money, but taking the time to go through it, I really appreciate it, and showing us how to use it.
Yep. You bet. Didn't cost you a penny today, did it? Other than an hour and a half of your time.
Oh, I'd love to go to lunch with you one day.
Okay. And you know, this is sometimes people let this overwhelm them, and so many people sign up and quit. Well, what good is that? You know, they have one of the most powerful tools for buying, selling houses. Again, it's not a perfect tool, but there's a lot of things you can learn just by sticking with it, you know, and putting it to work. Don't buy it and not use it, and not even try and learn how to use it anyhow, and then quit. Doesn't make any sense. This is a powerful tool for people to buy and sell houses and build a big network, build a big buyers list, and get stuff done quickly. And you know, the things that it's missing, like comps, well, we have comps. We have comps tools that you can subscribe to and use those. Other services don't have comps either. There's some that claim to have real comps, but they're not really. And you know, it's a matter of finding what you like. I've tried almost everything. Not everything, but I've tried a bunch, and I've been on this one 12 years, so that should tell you something. So, alrighty. Well, I hope nobody's froze in, iced in anywhere. I was a little worried about coming to the office this morning with the freezing rain. We had some out here, but then it stopped, so I'm hoping that I'm good to get home. So, alrighty. Well, I think that's all I got. Let me see here. I got 2 messages. Hold on. Let me see if I need to. Tommy, if you're still on. Tommy's asking, does it?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. You're asking, does Realflow come with a tutorial?
Right.
So, Realflow, so thanks for that question, because I didn't mention that. Realflow does a lot of live training. You'll see, let me go back to the homepage real quick. But on the homepage, you'll see that over here on the bottom right, they have all these classes you can register for here.
Okay.
Okay. Those are live trainings. And then over here under the knowledge base, you can search on just about any topic that you want. And a lot of this is calls. See right here, they got call 2, call 1. They got a lot of past calls recorded here for you. And so they do a good job on explaining all the features and how to use them and stuff. The difference is in my training is mine's the how-to. How do I use it in my business?
Right.
So you get a combination of both. You get theirs, and then you get mine, and then I also do these kind of trainings once in a while, plus the workshop. To my knowledge, nobody else is teaching all-day workshops with Realflow. I don't understand that, but to my knowledge, and I'm doing it kind of selfishly. I do it for the DFW area folks, you know, and I've thought about expanding it to go virtual nationwide to do an all-day workshop, but that takes a lot to put together. I just haven't done it. So.
Right. Yeah. Thanks. And it also, this is good for identifying, property owners and being able to find properties and things. I mean, like vacant lots or owners who are, out of state, that kind of thing.
So we don't have time to get into this today, but
right
here on, can you see my screen now?
I can.
So lead pipes, yours would say lead pipes, not premium unless you upgrade. But
Right.
here under property leads is where you're going to come in and you're going to start sifting and sorting the type of stuff that you want.
Gotcha.
You've got all these different kind of leads: absentee owners, cash buyers,
There you go. Yeah.
taxes, free and clear, active listings, foreclosures. Now, I'll tell you that one thing you don't want to do in Realflow is you don't want to use their foreclosures because Texas is one of the or pre-foreclosure. Texas is one of the fastest states for foreclosing, and by the time the data source delivers the updates to Realflow, it's too late. Okay, it's already too late. It's already gone. So those two type of leads you don't want to deal with, but these other properties, other types of leads you can, and you have all these different types of entities, individuals and trust, and then different types of properties that you can sift and sort on too. And then the AI technology, the artificial intelligence technology, that's even more powerful because they're scoring those leads. The other thing I really like, and I really do need to go, but I want to show you one more thing real quick in these properties. As far as the public information that's pulled, when you put a property in the system and you come down here to this public info tab, this is great because it gives you the forwarding address if there is one, which you need to know. If they're an absentee owner, it's got the subdivision name and the legal and the bedrooms and bathrooms. But if you keep scrolling down here, you get to the transaction history. So you can see when it was bought and sold and what kind of a deal it was. But then if you keep going, if there's been foreclosure history or if it's scheduled for the foreclosure, you're going to see all that history here at the bottom.
Right.
That's quite helpful when you're trying to, go pursue a deal and figure out, if it's something you're interested in or not. But I like seeing all this transaction history in here and the dates and what type of transaction, was there a loan on it? This comes in handy if you're looking for subject to deals, being able to tell if there's a loan or not. See, there was back here, but now there's not here.
Right.
Okay. So again, there's so many things that we haven't touched on. So many. And that's why, I just have to, I do these little snippets, periodically once a quarter or so, and then do the workshop where we get into some real practical application stuff. So.
Ooh.
Alrighty. So I will, Tommy, you want me to send you the LinkedIn?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. This is it, guys. Any last parting comments? I'm ready to hit end. Good seeing you, Steve. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Likewise, Tim, appreciate it. Thanks for the class. It was excellent.
Right.
All right. Good seeing you. Have a great day. Stay
Right.
warm.
Thanks, Tim. Y'all stay warm.
You bet. Take care.